My job is to oversee and facilitate the creation and management of all the records and information of the City of Fort Worth and its various departments, making sure that information is accessible and organized in such a way that the city maintains a high standard of transparency and responsiveness to its citizens.
I maintain all 17 libraries, making sure they are functioning properly for staff and the patrons.
In my job, I'm an internal auditor, and when we go in for an audit, we look at a department's processes and we work with them to make sure those processes are efficient, and then we also work with them to make sure they're reaching their goals.
In internal audit, we actually develop audit programs to assist departments in making their processes more efficient and effective, not to waste taxpayer dollars. We potentially look for any fraud or any risks that could potentially waste taxpayer dollars as well, to make process a little bit more effective and help everyone else out.
I love that what I do is at the heart of the City of Fort Worth maintaining its high standard of accessibility and transparency and responsiveness to its citizen. The accurate and accessible creation and maintenance and management of records and information is at the very heart of what it means for an organization to be responsive.
There's so many things I love about my job. I am a server at heart, so I love the fact that I'm able to fulfill requests for not only staff, but also making sure that all of the libraries are up and running properly for our customers, for the patrons, for anybody who enters any of our libraries.
I love my job because I get to hear employee concerns. Often, I think employees have concerns or thoughts and ideas as they go about their daily work, but they don't really know where to share them. So when we come in and do an audit, they get to share them with me.
The one thing that I love about my job is the diversity. We have a well-diverse team that helps us bounce ideas off each other. We all come from different experiences and backgrounds, diversity, nationalities, to make our team more effective so we can come from different viewpoints. Sometimes it makes discussions a little longer, but I love the diversity of our team.
Probably the coolest thing that I've had the experience of doing over the nearly quarter century I've been with the city were the many years that I played in a band that was made up solely of employees of the city. We had a city manager on drums, and we had an assistant city attorney who played guitar, and code compliance director who sang with us. And for many years we played numerous civic events and fundraisers and other kinds of celebrations. And it really spoke to the spirit of community and pride and the environment that I think is unique about the city of Fort Worth. I can't promise that everybody who comes to work for the city will have the chance to express themselves musically, but I can guarantee that that same spirit of pride and community and collaborative team work does exist.
There's so many different aspects within the city, so many different departments, and it's just being able to come together and still feel as one.
Coolest thing about being a city employee is getting to see all the departments and how they work together. There's so many people and departments that go into making the city function, but you don't always get to see that in the general public. But in my job, I get to see and meet all these people and see how they make the city run.
The coolest thing about being a City of Fort Worth employee is the opportunities. The opportunities to work with other departments, see how their processes flow, working with different groups. I actually helped four other people from my other previous job come on to the City of Fort Worth. So I told them, just get in the door. You'll find which department or area that you fall in love with. And 2 out of the 4 have already been promoted to other areas.
Fort Worth has a great sense of community and has a rich culture. And there is a great sense of individualism, kind of the Western ideal, but ironic to that is a unified sense of purpose that brings in that diversity and brings us together behind common causes.
My favorite thing about Fort Worth is the different people. You can collaborate with different people. You can say, for instance, like the City of Fort Worth, downtown Fort Worth, is so many things to do. So many wonderful restaurants to go to, so many different places to hang out at. And at the end of the day, it's just about, I'm all about bringing people together and fellowshipping with one another. And here, downtown Fort Worth, that's something that you can do any time of the day, whether it's during business hours, after hours. It's just coming together as one.
My favorite thing about Fort Worth is the botanical garden. I just love the rose garden. You have the stairs on one side with all the roses climbing up, and then you have the pond on the other, and I think it's just a beautiful place to spend an afternoon. Fort Worth is special because of the variety. One weekend you can go to a ballet, the next weekend you can go to a rodeo or go see a cattle drive at the stockyards. There's also a lot of great shopping, and there's just a lot of variety for everyone.
My favorite thing about Fort Worth is that there's so many events and concerts you can go to, from the New Dickies Arena, the Sundance Square, the Stockyards. Like every weekend is always something to do. I'm always referring some of my church members to my Fort Worth app for different things and activities within the city. So I love that about the city.
Fort Worth is growing. It is clean. It is among the safest cities of its size in the state, and it's full of a very rich culture. In my office, I have a photo hanging on the wall for some time that depicts the Fort Worth skyline from the 1920s. So 100 years later, it looks different, but handwritten on that photo is the quote, "Fort Worth, the biggest city of its size." And I used to think that was kind of contradictory, but over time I realized I think that captures it pretty well, because the city of Fort Worth, while it is growing and while it is one of the largest cities in the country, it still has maintained the sense of hometown instead of big city.
There's nothing like being able to come to a place of employment where it feels easy to be at work. Not only does it feel easy, it's safe. It's fun to collaborate with other people. It's like the culture is just amazing.
It's worth working here because you get to give back to the city and community in which you live. I think it's really important to take care of the places that you love, and working for the city allows me to do that.
So many different departments and so many different opportunities within the city. In the last 10 years, the city of Fort Worth has grown so much, where you have a vast variety of things that you can get involved with, opportunities in job growth. So why not work here?